Sometimes reboot not as good. Sometimes original is better.
Yeah, I mean, some would say so.
Yeah. Well, ground movie was sour. That
It was a
movie
little sour.
The movie was sour. I'm home at the movies.
And I'm Jackson. Welcome to another Bored and Annoyed Reviews episode. This week we are talking about Pet Sematary 2019.
Bored and annoyed.
So I'm just going to start by sharing what I was hoping for.
Okay. Oh boy.
What I was hoping for was like, a new adaptation of the source material that's going to take you deeper into the themes of, loss and death and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and what did we get?
What we got was a jump scare laden, modern horror movie.
It's a nothing of a movie.
Yeah, no, there's something. Okay, so I don't want to harp too bad on it. There were a few scenes I liked. I thought Jason Clarke was pretty good considering.
Surprise, Jackson's a little bit more okay with this movie than I am.
Okay. So if I'm judging it as a Stephen King adaptation of Pet Sematary, it fails miserably.
Right.
If I'm judging it as like a modern horror movie that you're not expecting, like Hereditary or Get Out or something, if it's just in that classification of easy horror movies, then I think that it kind of fulfills its promise, I guess.
And if I'm judging it as a modern horror movie, I'm judging it as what it is, which is a boring paint by numbers movie. And given the source material and the potential here, it's not even a swing. It's like somebody just walked up to home plate and just assumed that they could have a walk.
Right.
And
it totally piggybacks on the original one.
And that's not what happens.
It's completely pointless to exist.
I thought quite a few aspects of it sucked, actually.
We can get into that. But what grade are you giving this?
Probably like a D. I'll probably give it a straight D.
See, it's funny because I actually think that if they came out at the same time, I would say that this was better than the original one, but because they should know better now, I'm going to grade this on like a curve. So I gave the original a B-.
Right.
I'm going to give this a C-.
This obviously has better acting.
Yeah, so 100%.
It obviously
outside
has better acting.
of Judd Crandall's character, which is way better in the first one, and almost alone makes the original one a more entertaining movie.
That's very true. It's better in acting and it's better with cinematography, but I would say, and maybe narrative pacing, but I think the narrative in the original is actually better, and the changes.
You might be right.
And the changes in this.
You didn't like the changes, right?
I think the changes made it worse as a movie.
Well, that'll be what's fun to get into in spoilers. I mean, I thought it was okay. Again, though, it's like, to me, this story is disturbing. Jump scares have nothing to do with why this concept is scary. Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to be scary in the traditional sense. It's supposed to make you think, and it's supposed to make you kind of sick. Okay, so I'm not going to consider this a spoiler, but he digs up his kid, right? Yeah. Shouldn't that be a really fucked up concept? But in the movie, it's handled as okay, well, I'm just gonna go do this quick.
Yeah, well, it's handled like this is what you would do, and it's right. But no, the idea is that he's supposed to be disturbed to have gone this far.
Right, exactly, and you as the viewer are supposed to be sick to your stomach because he's digging up a corpse.
Right, and I can't believe he would do this to his kid, and there's so much that it entails, and the fact that they play it so straight and so. They just pan up to the tree, Yeah,
he literally tosses the shovel over this little fence, hops the fence, and then he digs up the body. And it was just this isn't it didn't seem like there was much pondering going on.
No.
I don't know. It was, But I mean, there's some the change I thought was somewhat effective. There's a new ending, which I thought was okay. But yeah, I guess spoilers.
Yeah. I thought the new ending was piss poor because there's not much of a message there, and there's not much of a catharsis or learning for anybody involved. And that was kind of my problem with the original, is that he brings his wife back and then his wife kills him. And it's kind of like, wow, this guy was a fucking moron. You know, he never learned anything. In fact, he just seemed to get worse as the movie went on.
Yeah, like he gets more desperate, and they made it. Yeah, it didn't work in the original one either. Like the whole idea of him bringing the body up because it was more fresh.
Yeah,
like he thought it would work. Like him making excuses in his head as to why it would work this time. Yeah, you know, like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again.
Yes, expecting a different result.
And that's not in this at all.
No. And like I don't really understand. Like they didn't really, and there's so much potential here. Like there was some changes, like the fact that the daughter, when she comes back, and it is the daughter. I mean, but that's almost it's like a surface level change. It's not something that dramatically changes the narrative because it's still the same idea of bringing back a child and a human being and the soul, whatever. But there's so much potential here for like the conversations of watching your daughter, who you thought was your daughter, you know, be this thing. They don't do really much with that. And then they don't go into why would these dead people want to have more dead people? Why are they bringing the mom up there? Why are they bringing the dad up there? Why do they want to kill the son and bring the son up there? Like, no answers for this. It's just kind of like, well, this is what they do because they're zombie people.
Yeah, they just want to increase the amount of zombie people, apparently. Yeah. I liked the ending, though, the concept of like, oh, are they just going to go raise the kid? Like they show up at the car. It's like, what if they just decided to not kill the kid?
See, I just assumed that they were just going to kill the kid.
Yeah, that's so the way I was having fun with it was like imagining the next movie with like the one kid who's normal in the family, like at the kitchen table with the undead.
This is Gage. Meet Gage's family.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's fun. Like a 1980s comedy.
That's fun. But the point is, nothing should be fun about this. Like there were too many moments in this movie that I like laughed at and was having fun with. And that's not what I wanted here.
I rolled my eyes like a lot in this movie.
With the jump scares, especially.
The jump scares, especially because you can just feel them. Like you can just time them out like with your fucking watch if you want. And I'd say the beginning is so uninspired. Like the over the head shot of the forest with the creepy music, and then you see the stuff on fire, and you're like, wow, it's so creepy because it's the woods.
Well, what about like the children that are doing like the ceremonial? They don't do anything with that.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
They don't do anything with it. If they just show it and they say, oh, sometimes kids do this with their animals.
Right.
Like, parents would be like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And you didn't even use it in the movie to like do anything interesting with it.
Right. Like that kid turns around with like the bunny mask and you're like, wow, that's kind of creepy. Maybe there's something there.
Yes.
No. Why would we do anything with that?
No.
It's just a creepy image.
Yeah. It's a failure overall. And I don't like, by the way, we need to just get into this a little bit. Who the fuck, what drugs were they giving out at this South by Southwest Film Festival where all these critics were coming out fucking saying this is like the best thing ever? I mean, just as a couple examples, Entertainment Weekly, directing duo Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Widmeyer get everything absolutely right in their bone-chillingly effective new remake.
Everything.
The new and improved Pet Sematary may just be the best movie based on one of his books in 20 years.
I'm sorry. Oh, in 20 years. Okay.
Well, it was like last year or the year before.
That's true. Yeah.
So at most 2 years. It is not better than it. To say it's better than it is absolutely asinine.
Which one came out first, It or Dark Tower? Because this is better than Dark Tower.
Okay.
I mean, not by much.
Wow. What Entertainment Weekly really putting it out there.
Yeah.
Here's another one. For all the leanness and rapid fire scares on display through the film's earlier scenes, the final third draws much of its horror, but not all of it, mind you, from a clinical conversation between two family members. The altercation allows this new adaptation to explore the topic in a deeper, more visceral fashion than the source material. This is Dan Caffrey, Consequence of Sound. Shut the fuck up, Dan. This does not allow this to explore the topic in deeper, more visceral fashion than the source material. Okay, what is the source material? Is he talking about the other movie?
I don't know.
Because they don't do that at all in the other movie either. But it certainly doesn't do it more than the book.
Yeah.
And lastly, Chris Evangelista at Slash Film says Pet Sematary is one of the best Stephen King adaptations ever.
It's not it's not creepy. Like there's no
creepy part.
There's
one creepy part that was good.
There's no reason, like the wife, there's no reason why she would see Zelda, her sister, fall, like there's no reason why like this, it's not a haunted house. Why is she seeing this in the house?
Well, I think...
And then the fact that she's like reacting to it like it's really there. It's like, are you insane?
Well, at that point, was the daughter back yet? Or was that just her like having a bad dream? That was
just her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Well, how about the first of all, I want to just get back to him saying it's best, one of the best Stephen King movies ever.
Yeah.
Like The Shining, It, fucking Misery. Like who's watching this movie?
Right.
You've never seen Misery?
I've never seen Misery.
Oh my God. It's amazing.
It and
Kathy
The Shining.
Bates alone, it's like one of the best performances ever.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know it pop culturally, but yeah, I've never actually fully seen it. But I mean, I would say that, Gerald's Game?
Yeah, it was better than this.
Yeah, but much better than this.
Yeah. 1922 on Netflix is better than this.
That's the other one I still need to check out. So, I mean, it's like... I would say the original Pet Sematary is better than this.
There you go.
Like overall, like, yeah, the acting is wonky and it's got that weird 80s, like it's cheesy and it's not that great, but
it does have a really fun character in it too.
And there's a charm to the original. Yeah. There's no charm to this. This is so like, and some people be like, oh, it's a polished movie, but I'm going to say that in a negative sense. It's a polished, like shitty, like streamlined corporate.
Yes.
Like when the kid dies, you don't feel shit. Like that's when you know the movie's broken.
Right. Well, and you know what? When the kid died in the original, they did a good job of like, oh, he was chasing the kid down and literally tripped over, and it's like it's his fault. It's on him.
Yes.
Whereas in this one, that almost was just gone.
And it was comical too, because like the dude, like they're trying. It's this thing of like, this movie is so meta because they're like, oh, it's going to hit Gage just like in the original, and all the fans are expecting. You already
spoiled that
right in the trailer.
Yeah, idiots.
But they do that, and then like the trailer becomes comical because it's coming towards the daughter, and then this is where like those people who are like, it's bloodless. I'm like, you're so fucking right, because this kid is unscathed.
Yeah, it's true. It would be a crushed. Yeah,
it would be horrific.
Yeah,
I mean.
A scene I liked quite a bit was the bathing scene. That was probably the most interesting few minutes of the movie was when he got the daughter back in the home, and he first bathes her, and there's like the staples on the back of her head, and then he goes to bed with her, and then he wakes up the next day and she's like dancing in the living room like she used to.
Yeah.
That was probably as close as it got to being interesting, and it wasn't jump scare shit.
Right.
It was actual like, okay, this is kind of disturbing.
Right. And then there was that scene where she's in the bed and she's like, Daddy, will you stay here with me?
Yeah.
And then she knows that she's dead. Now, I think that you're right in that it's okay. Like it's kind of interesting, but they could have taken it to another level where instead of her being disturbing right off the bat in very overt ways.
Right. Okay. She comes back and it's like, oh, she might be the same kid.
It's little subtleties. And as the movie goes along, have that part last 15 minutes rather than 5. Have it last like a day or two.
It is funny. It's like, it's typically you don't look at a bad movie and say that it's too short, but the running time was not sufficient to do the things that they needed to do.
Yes.
Like it just, you know what I'm saying? Like there's just certain things that like didn't get in there. Right. And it's funny because they didn't fix the fuck ups in the original. Like we were talking about the original, this movie actually reminded me, Judd in the original, we were talking about how it's stupid. Like, okay, if his dog came back and was like a lunatic, why would he ever like have someone else go through this? But then the book, he brought the dog back and the dog was just kind of lazy and lived out the rest of its natural life and died. Yes.
Really? Oh, well, then he would not. Yeah. So he would not have a negative association with it. So he wouldn't think that it's that bad.
The dog wasn't the same. But and his wife was alive in the book,
which was why it made sense why he would want to bring back this cat. They didn't fix what we were saying about like there's no bond. In fact, I think the bond is even less.
It's less in this one.
Yeah, because he has one dinner with the family, and then you're like,
Judd has a bond with Ellie more in this one. But the wife was alive in the source material, and the Dr. Lou Creed saved his wife when she was having a heart attack. So the whole thing was like he's returning the favor.
Yeah.
And there's no reason in this. Did he even talk about the dog in this that he brought back?
He did.
But the person wasn't brought back in this one, right?
No, the person was not brought back. And I don't think he talked about bringing his dog back. I think he talked about, this is my dog and this is where I buried him. But I don't think he said anything about bringing the dog back.
Right. They left stuff out that kind of increases the believability of that character and why he would have the motivations he does.
I hated the change to the sour ground where it's buried because it's sour. It's so over the top, like Halloween, like this is what, like, I don't know. It looks like he was out of He-Man or something. Like there's this staircase that's in stone going up this creepy, and then they look out and somehow like they're in like a completely different area that like could not exist, and storms always going on in the background.
They did try to insert a little lore with the
Wendigo?
Yeah, the Wendigo. Yeah. So at least they tried to do that. But you know what? Fucking go for it, man. Yeah. They didn't go for anything.
They went for the Wendigo, and I was like, yes, Wendigo. Like let's do it.
Yeah, like backstory, lore.
Yeah, let's go somewhere with that. And they just didn't.
No.
And
no, it was just
they never like the problems with the original they didn't fix, and they created new problems.
Right.
So it's just narratively, it's a worse movie. I was shocked at how...
Hey, it's the best Stephen King adaptation ever.
I almost fell asleep 3 times.
How the fuck are people coming out of that festival like blown away by this movie?
I don't get it. Like,
and then as soon as the regular critics saw it, it dropped like a goddamn stone from 100 fucking miles in the air.
Well, did you see the audience reviews are even lower than the critics?
I believe it.
Because it was
but a lot of them are all like, the original's a classic, and when it's like, guys, come on, it wasn't that fucking good. I'm sorry.
It's not. It's still better than this, but it's not that great. No. But still, I mean,
they're mad because, like, I don't know. It's the audience reviews. You always have to you got to
take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you got to read them, read a few of them, figure out. Okay, so
I remember.
What are these guys mad about? Yeah. Are they mad for filmmaking reasons, or are they mad because it's not their Pet Sematary from the 80s or whatever?
Well, and I remember like Batman v Superman got ones that were saying this movie is going to be great, A+, and that was a review. They hadn't even seen it. And it's like, yeah, I can't take Rotten Tomatoes audience reviews seriously.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have much more to say about it. It's fine. I would recommend it if you like these movies. You're going to see it anyway, I guess. I don't recommend it if you're really going to be upset because you love the book. Like, I walked out of the theater like, I do want to say Church was pretty good. I thought the cat was neat. It was fun to watch the cat.
Church was okay.
He was a hell of a lot more interesting than he was in the original one.
He at least looked cooler. I kind of wish they had done the eye thing with him, though.
Oh, with the yellow eyes or whatever. Okay.
I wish they had done that. I don't know if that's from the book.
No, because I liked her like giving the brushing of it, and it flips out and shit. I thought that was pretty good. It is interesting that he doesn't kill. Like, they do a new thing where instead of killing the cat, he takes it out into the middle of nowhere, and because he didn't kill the cat, that's why Ellie gets killed. And I think they're trying to like have the audience make the connection that he would feel responsible, but they don't really go for that.
Right. And I hate the change to the ghost guy. I hate this ghost guy more.
Really?
Yes. He's just like, it's so like, I liked the guy like, the ground is sour. Like, I like that it's cheesy, but there was like character to that guy, and like
this remake was sour, and I'm calling it a remake. Typically I like to say it's a new adaptation of the source material, but this is a fucking remake of the original movie. It took the original movie and it tried to do similar things and make a few tweaks here and there, and it failed miserably.
It's sort of an indictment upon like the remix culture. You're like, I'll take this original and I'll add these little tweaks and I'll remix it my own way and I'll put in my own beats.
Yeah.
Well, you made it worse.
Right.
So good job.
Yeah. So maybe in 30 years they'll make another one and it'll be the good one.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah.
That's what we got to tell ourselves.
It is funny though, just in general, these people that adapt books, and and you watch it sometimes and you're like, you don't even get why it's good.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you mad. How do you take like good shit and turn it into something that's just like Stephen King? You know what? Fuck Stephen King too, because he likes this movie.
Oh yeah,
he went all out liking this movie.
That was the other thing that I think that we need to take away from this, which is don't take Stephen King's word for anything he says he likes. And I'm lumping him in with like James Cameron. When James Cameron said Terminator Genesis was like one of the best of the series.
Yeah, well, exactly. No, you don't. Do you understand your own
your own
book,
creation?
Your own creation? Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. I don't know. And then Stephen King also hates The Shining, so keep that in mind too.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's so different, right?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Sorry, Stephen.
It's still a great movie in its own right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's Pet Sematary 2019. Quite disappointing.
Yep.
But if you guys liked this review, or maybe if you didn't, go on and check out our boredandanoid.com.
Yep.
Check us out at Instagram. You'll find all of that at the website. And thanks for listening.